It is, what is it, Saturday, June 20th, 2020. Yesterday I went out to do street stand-up, and I was just off. I could feel it. It's interesting. I wouldn't describe it as bombing. I just felt off. I think I've really been able to develop these skills of leaning into the vibe of what's on the street, of not caring all that much if it's not going well or if I don't get a laugh. So that's good. When I'm on the street now, I'm much calmer mentally. If you've ever done stand-up comedy, especially when you're early on in it, I'm sure you can understand when I say this. That when you're on the stage, there's your adrenaline's going, and you're jumping from idea to idea. And there's a lot of times, especially early on, for like years, I wouldn't even really remember what happened. I'd be on stage for like 5 minutes, and I wouldn't even remember what happened. Like, it's weird. You don't black out on stage, obviously, but like, your adrenaline's going, and you're doing your thing, you're being wacky, and when you get off stage, it's a blur. You weren't really present. You weren't in first person, I guess, during it. And so yesterday when I was out there, I could feel myself giving a shit but not giving a shit. There's another truck. Getting stared at again. Jesus Christ. By the way, this whole lynching thing that's happened, I know they're trying to say that, I know that they're trying to say that guy committed suicide. Let me just be very clear. If something happens to me out here, I did not commit suicide, and I'm not fucking joking when I say that. I didn't commit suicide. I have no intention to commit suicide. So, some shit happens, fucking look into it, please. Anyway, so I'm out there, and I don't want to describe it as not giving a shit. Like, I give a shit about being entertaining and doing this well and getting laughs and people being engaged. But when they're not, it's not the end of the world. That's how I would describe it. Is like, when I'm up there and it's not going as well as I'd like it to go, or if I'm bombing or whatever, it's not the end of the world. And you can really feel that on me, I think, when I'm out there now, which is good. There's something like when you have the mic, you control the energy, and if they can feel that it doesn't bother you all that much, then they get to relax. Like, I'd say, generally speaking, unless you're like a heckler who wants attention, generally speaking, the audience wants you to do well. They don't want an uncomfortable experience with them. And if you're wavering, then they're following your energy. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel when I'm up there and I'm not doing well. And there's this calm that sets in. There's this very calm, relaxed space that I'm in now when I'm in front of people, at least on the street. And so it's, I haven't really talked about first and third person all that much recently, but I think going in third person, specifically for comedy stuff, going in first person or third person is important for those jokes. It was interesting. When I was out there, I could feel that I wasn't going in first person or third person. Which was I? Okay, when I was on the street yesterday, whatever, I could feel that I wasn't using third person artistically. So I go back and forth between first person and third person, and when I was in third person, it was scattered and it was all over the place. This is just like this fucking podcast, it's scattered and all over the place. There's some sort of mental thing that I need to do to click into, and I've talked about it before, but I think it's forming a little more. Going into your mind's eye. So when I'm coming up with an idea or a premise, or I'm joking or I'm riffing out there, I need to be able to go into my mind's eye, and it's like seeing a little movie. And I just point out the stuff in the movie that I'm noticing. I know that's kind of hard to I don't know, maybe it isn't hard to understand, maybe it's very easy to understand, but that's mentally where I'm at right now, is if I can just click into that movie headspace, I think I can get more jokes out of it, whether I'm in a good mood or not, or whether I'm feeling off or not. When I took KJ out there, like okay, the skill of being calm on stage and you know, being in control, being relaxed, is built up more, and that skill of it being okay if it's kind of dark, or if it's not being funny, or if it's somber. I have that skill down to a pat. I have that skill. I have this skill down pat, not to a pat. Like I'm passing the skill to some lady named Pat. I have that skill down. Like I'm really comfortable with discomfort on stage right now. And I'm really comfortable with it not being hilarious. And I seem to be able to make the audience feel comfortable with that as well. Now, it feels like I'm doing comedy backwards. All right, now that I can be on stage and not be funny and it's fine, I think I should work on being funny when I do stand-up comedy. So that's kind of where I'm at, is when I was out there with KJ sometime recently, you know, he's punchy. He's funny, obviously. He's out there being punchy. And I think if I can now that I'm more comfortable on if I can just dig into that mind's eye mentality, it's like going in third person, but then going in third person in my mind's eye and just visually seeing what I'm trying to describe. I think I'll really be onto something, and I think it'll make me funnier and punchier. It just takes a lot of energy. But I think part of it is being, what's the word? Like, I'm having trouble with it because growing up, people kind of told me to ignore my mind's eye, my imagination. I remember, like, I couldn't watch horror movies because I would get these really horrific, detailed visual things in my head, like these visual, oh God, hold on a second. Aaliyah, stop. Okay. Sorry, hold on, come on, Aaliyah. Fuck, I hate this goddamn neighborhood. Sorry, I had a lady not look too happy with me around. I don't even know if I can walk my fucking dog out here anymore. Anyway, so, what was I saying? Oh yeah, as a kid, I would have these fucked up, vivid, horrific images come into my head, like really vivid. And I think over time, I think probably as like a defense mechanism, I just kind of dulled them, or I made them visually hazy on purpose, or subconsciously on purpose. Can you be subconsciously on purpose? Is that an oxymoron? And I would do that, and now I have to like retrain that skill to be able to see those things visually. It's such a weird idea, and I think I'm just gonna have to keep working it out, and I'll probably be able to describe it a little better as time goes on. But in summary, when I'm going into riffing mode, I think that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'm gonna go out there tonight again, and I think I'm gonna focus on that, is just try to go into my mind's eye, look at my ideas visually, and just point the things out that I see. And that's what I'm gonna do. This one was a little splatter shot, a little off the wall. Got a good spread. This one was a weird one. But, you know, if you know one person that you think would enjoy this, please share it with them. And till next time.